This is Lindsay from Australia. Hello, Lindsay. How do I harness fear so it becomes unimportant? It holds me back. How do you put your attention on the sensations when they are such a destructive force? I'm assuming she means the psychological fear, because fear just in itself, if, say, for example, a bear comes into the room, you probably won't have time to be afraid, but it is only afterwards that you'll realize that maybe there was some fear, and it motivated you to either move, leave, do whatever. So there is some fear that actually is quite helpful. For instance, you might be walking down the street, and then suddenly you feel this weird sensation, and you name it fear. And maybe it's an intuitive sense that something is about to happen, so you then avoid walking down a certain street. But I think she's referring to the psychological fear, the fear that, of course, happens, and an event happens in our life, and we perhaps take that on and identify with that event, and then just fear could arise. It kind of, in a way, could relate to another questioner who, I'll read it because it's Rachel from Ireland. She says, "Hi, Kim. How can I overcome my constant belief that I am stupid or not good enough, as I feel this filters through my life in so many situations? I started a new job recently, and every day I go in, I have fear of getting in trouble for making mistakes, and usually I do because I carry this belief and end up feeling worse because of its..." Lost my train here. "I carry this belief and end up feeling worse because of it. It's like a vicious pattern. In my relationships, I can see it too, as the belief of not being good enough gives me low self-confidence, and I act and behave in this way, and because of this, many times I don't get respected. I would love to be able to hold my head up and be able to speak for myself and not feel worthless, an image I carried with myself for many years. Can you give me any advice on this? Thanks so much. I love your teachings." So I'm going to kind of combine these two. So the psychological fear that she is speaking of, Rachel is speaking of, is probably something that had happened to her when she was a child. Maybe she was called stupid, and then you end up believing it. Maybe it was somebody that you loved, a parent perhaps, that called you stupid, but somewhere along the line, you believed in those words, and then you end up taking that on. So the ego then identifies with that, I am stupid, and then therefore goes about their life. So when they go about their life, they're looking for that because they have a belief in that they're stupid. So they'll look for all the situations that would affirm, or they think that it affirms their belief. So Lindsay mentions, how do you put your attention on the sensation when when it's such a destructive force? It's the mere fact that he, she, Lindsay says, how And they know it's a sensation, and the only way that you can transform sensations is by feeling it. It's not a how, and a how is thinking, it's with the mind. So you cannot transform a sensation by thinking about it. You can only transform that old sensation, that old energy of fear, and whatever the story is. So in Rachel's case, it's I'm stupid. Whatever the story is by actually feeling it. And we did that. We do that in Presence Through Movement. When I say, if an emotion arises, drop the label and feel the sensation, because all it is when you drop the label is sensation. With no expectation that it will go, because as soon as you have an expectation, you're back in your mind again. So full and total surrender means you are willing to feel this sensation, this fear sensation, forever. And forever, you know you're not going to feel it forever. We have that experience of it coming and going. But in order for it to transform and to release, and you may have to go through this many times, because if you have the idea that, okay, if I just feel this one time and feel it completely, then it'll be gone forever. You can't even think in terms of time here. As soon as you do, you're back in the mind again. Do you understand that? There's the difference of being able to truly feel something with no time involved, so just awareness, pure awareness. And pure awareness is not attached to any timeline, is willing to feel something forever. It won't be forever, trust me, it won't, and you know it as well, but it feels like that when you're in it. It just feels like as if this will never go away, but it always does.